Hi guys, it's Tammy. Welcome to my channel. We are going to be sniffing perfume samples today. You know me and my samples, I just can't help myself. So stay tuned to see what I think of these beautiful fragrances. Well, I'm having a little beverage. Why not? I mean, it's Friday afternoon, March Madness is on. It's important to film, but it's also important to keep up with my bracket and to make sure it doesn't get any more busted than it already is. Do you guys watch March Madness? I'm so excited to give you guys my interpretation of these popular hyped perfumes because sometimes my interpretation is a little bit different than your average person. And I just feel that maybe there's a little bit of value of hearing things described in a non-professional way. I love watching professional perfume reviews and people understand the notes. And I'll just say, well, this smells like Trident gum. Well, maybe that's helpful to you. And I hope it is because I have my own unique way of interpreting a fragrance like we all do. Okay, so let's get started with our first sample. I'm going to be talking about Bonbon Pop by the House of Oud. And I've been hearing a lot about this one. And upon first spray, you guys, I got an instant mental image, a complete scene, a complete vibe in my head. The image that came into my mind was me standing in a field of hay with hay bales all around me. And it was a beautiful blue sky, but lots of white fluffy clouds. It was a very breezy, warm day. I had a floral sundress on and the wind was just blowing it in the air. And my boyfriend, well, I have a husband, but in my vision, my boyfriend brought a picnic of juicy peaches and mangoes for us to sit on a gingham blanket in this field of hay and enjoy our juicy peaches and mangoes. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that outdoorsy, fresh field feeling was probably like the patchouli, the jasmine, the woods all coming together to give like an outdoorsy, fresh feeling. But that peachiness comes in and it's unmistakably fruity and juicy and sweet, but so balanced with that earthiness. Like, I really like this one. I think it's so pretty. It needs more beverage. Okay, so moving on to Amouage Material. Of course, you guys have all heard about this. Everyone's talked about it for ages. And when I first sprayed it in the air and on the paper, like the very opening, I got like a dense, rich devil's food chocolate cake with dark cherry topping on it. I have like sacred frankincense essential oil, and I can tell you there's frankincense in this. And I think probably like whatever is called elemi is probably like a similar or in the same family as frankincense. But anyway, I got that devil's food chocolate cake with cherry topping and resin. The elemi heavy, the frankincense heavy with it. Kind of a nice combo, very ambery, but for me it was too heavy in all of those deep resinous woody notes like the oud, the incense, the benzoin, the elemi, like all of those were like, I didn't even get vanilla in this really. Okay, moving on to Initio Parfums Narcotic Delight. I have some seriously strong opinions on this. What do you think I'm gonna say? So when I sprayed Narcotic Delight, I was blown away. I was not expecting to get a tropical drink. Now, I just came from vacation, as you may know. I was down in the Florida Keys and I was having a few of these tropical drinks. When I sprayed Narcotic Delight, I got an intense, like heavy on the booze tropical drink. I wasn't expecting that for some reason. I don't know why. People keep comparing this to Side Effect, so I guess I was expecting something more dark and tobacco-y, but this was a fruity tropical drink with quite a bit of pepper to it. So it's like somebody accidentally spilled a shaker of pepper into my tropical drink. I was thinking, tell me there is some sort of alcohol or booze in here. I know I detect that. So I looked up the notes and I saw that there was cognac and I think there's cherry, so that's probably where I'm getting the little bit of fruitiness from. But as this dries down, I want to explain to you that this is Swiss Arabian Casablanca in another form. I've never heard anyone say that it's Swiss Arabian Casablanca. I own that one. The first time I sprayed it a few weeks ago, before we went on vacation, I sprayed it on my skin and I was like, Casablanca. It's Casablanca. No one has said this. Now, if your nose has different receptors in it than mine does, you may not get that. But I'm telling you, if you have Narcotic Delight or a sample of it, spray it, let it dry down, and tell me if it doesn't smell like Casablanca. So anyway, that's what it smells like to me. I've got to get another drink. So here's one that you've probably been hearing a lot about, 312 Saint-Honoré by BDK Parfums. And this is why you watch my channel, because I'm saying something different about this than everyone else is. Probably. And from what I saw on Fragrantica, a lot of people were comparing this to a skin scent, something like Glossier You, something like Juliette Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, something in that skin scent realm. That's totally not what I get from this. When I first spray this, I get a beautiful tropical floral. I did spray this on my skin when I sprayed it a few weeks ago. And what I got was something very similar to Maison Margiela replica Beach Walk. So that's what I'm getting from 312 Saint-Honoré, and it was unmistakable. I really a couple times thought, who sprayed Beach Walk? Like, it's so similar to that. It's a very beachy tropical floral to my nose. Now, I don't know anyone else that has gotten that vibe from this perfume, but that is what I get. It's all very like banana tropical florals, very sweet, almost coconutty. So that's what I get from 312 Saint-Honoré. Have you smelled it? Did you get that too? Or is it just me? It probably does have a bit of a skin scent vibe to it. There is a really pretty muskiness in there. But I'm getting gorgeous, beautiful tropical florals. Beachy, very beachy. Now here was an interesting one for me. Althaïr by Parfums de Myrrhe. I'd heard a lot about this. It sounded like a really gorgeous vanilla. So I was a little bit surprised when I sprayed it out, and I was getting a very fresh, calming, spa-like type of sweet scent. It was sort of like if you went into a spa and instead of like lemongrass and lavender, they had in their diffusers like a praline spa scent. That's what it was like. It was so calming, relaxing, and almost like an orangey, almost like a creamsicle, actually, like that orangey, creamy. It was sweet but fresh. So you had like almost like a citrusy sweetness that gave that freshness, but the creamsicle, like the vanilla ice cream part of the creamsicle, was giving that pretty calming sweetness. Now, as this dried down, to me, it smelled almost identical to my nose to Armani Code for women. Not only that, as it continued to dry down, I was getting hints of Armani Code Cashmere and Armani Code Satin, those long discontinued flankers of Armani Code. But Armani Code was the vibe. And if you're wondering what Althaïr smells like, I would say if you like Armani Code, you would probably like this. I thought it was literally gorgeous. Literally gorgeous. I loved this one. Loved Althaïr. Loved it. Let me talk to you about Diptyque Le Papier. This one is so pretty. I love this one. I actually sprayed it on my skin. This was one of my top favorites from this entire batch of samples. Oh, it is so nice. It's so me, right? You know I like musky, clean scents. When I first sprayed it, it was musky, soapy, clean, but yet there was something very warm and cozy about it too, almost nutty in a way. And that was mostly in the opening. So pretty. Oh my word. It's like laundry fresh. It's warm, cozy, musky, comforting. This is really beautiful. If you like skin scents, musky, clean, soapy, floral, like light, pretty, happy scents, I think you would love Le Papier by Diptyque. Now let me talk to you about a couple of Narcotica scents that I got samples of. One of them is Happy Dust. You've probably been hearing about this. And when I sprayed this out, it smells straight up like an Oreo cookie. Straight up Oreo cookie. Maybe even just the frosting from an Oreo cookie, the white middle of an Oreo cookie. But then I do start getting a little bit of a fruitiness, and I think it's reminding me of apple the most. Now, to tell you the truth, this reminds me a lot of La Danza. I just call it La Danza for sure. You know what one I'm talking about, right? I'll pop up a picture here or there. It reminds me a lot of that. It has that kind of light, airy sweetness to it. But what I want to say about Happy Dust by Narcotica, you guys, is the reaction my husband had when I sprayed this. It was dangerous. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately about if you don't want to get pregnant, don't wear this perfume. Now, you haven't got to worry about me getting pregnant because we're safe in that regard. But I am telling you, my husband said, I want you to spray that all over your body. I just want to just eat you up. Like, I won't even tell you all the things he said about happy dust, but I might have to like get a bottle just because it makes him so happy. Like, to me, it's just okay. To me, it's a little bit too sweet for me, a little too airy sweet. I'm not a fan of like the most airiest, sweetest fragrances, kind of like BR 540, you know, like that's not really my vibe. Not that this smells anything like that, I don't mean that, but it's that high pitched type of sweetness, like that airy floating sweetness. This has that. Not my favorite, but my husband loves it so much. I'll just tell him if he wants me to wear it, he'll have to buy it. It's the same bank account, so it doesn't matter anyway. But like, I wouldn't go ahead and buy it, but he would. I need some more beverage. So the other one I got from Narcotica was Narco Oasis. And wow, when I sprayed this out, the juicy fruitiness of this just blew me away. I was getting pineapple. I was sure it was pineapple. Now, when I checked the notes, pineapple is not listed, but it does have a lot of fruits. It has passion fruit, blood orange, black currant, pear, peach. But I'm getting pineapple. I think all those are combining to give me a pineapple smell. This was absolutely mouth-wateringly juicy, sweet, gorgeous, beautiful. I'm thinking Narcotica is a brand I could get on board with. Anyway, this is so very pretty. Really pretty. If you like a very realistic, juicy, sweet, fruity, mouth-wateringly fruity scent, I think Narco Oasis would be no-brainer. Now, Tom Ford Myrrhe Mystère. Now, this is one that I've been wanting to try for a while because I love the essential oil myrrhe. And when I sprayed this out, it is a realistic myrrhe essential oil smell to me. I even got my little bottle of myrrhe essential oil to compare it to. This is Rocky Mountain Oils, and if you know, you know they are a high quality brand, but they're not one of the like brands that have a membership or anything like that. They're just okay. Yes, I love myrrhe. Do I want to smell like myrrhe all the time? Not necessarily, but I love it. You know what I mean? Definitely a very photorealistic myrrhe, like an essential oil, a pure essential oil of myrrhe. On the dry down, you get more of that sandalwood, the type of Tom Ford sandalwood that's like in Ebon Fumé, the classic Tom Ford sandalwood. I really love Tom Ford's sandalwood, and I really liked this. Now, I don't think that it's one that I would wear a lot. It does have a masculine edge to it, to me. It may not to you at all, but it'd be great to layer with something a little bit sweeter. It does have its own sweetness. But anyways, if you like myrrhe essential oil, you may love Tom Ford Myrrhe Mystère. Lancôme La Vie et Belle L'Extrait. I have wanted to smell this for a while. When I sprayed La Vie et Belle Extrait, I was expecting to have the oud come along with that La Vie et Belle smell and give me what I was looking for, the depth that I've always wanted from La Vie et Belle. No, I don't like this, you guys. I'm sorry if you do love it. It's very odd. Never, ever, ever would I say this is blind buy safe. It is not. When you first spray this in the air, at least when I first sprayed in the air, I get a very skanky, terpenic oud. Like a very turpentine, chemical oud. Not good at all to me. It's just too much of a dirty oud to me. I don't like it. And it, like, you know how in, let's say, Mula Mula and La Capitale, the oud comes along with the fruit and it makes it just sexier and vibier? It has the opposite effect in here. It takes La Vie et Belle, which actually is kind of pleasant, even though I don't love it, but it's, I mean, it's a pretty sweet scent, and it makes it go rotten. And I did try this on my skin, and it just smelled so odd on me, just very odd. Not a fan of La Vie et Belle Extrait. I wanted to love this. I'm not saying what I'm saying like to be mean. You know me. It's just that I truly don't like it. I wanted to like it so bad. Like, I wanted this to be like what I was looking for. Every time you smell a perfume, you kind of hope you will love it. I did not like this at all. Moving on. So I've wanted to smell Lancôme Oud Bouquet for ages, and it is beautiful. This is actually quite a bit like the Genesis by Brandt. It's in that same vein, but mostly it smells like Shaga food to me. And my sample is getting very low. I've had this for a long time, and I've compared it to a lot of perfumes over the past couple of years. And I can definitely say that Oud Bouquet and Shaga Oud are in the same family. They may not be exact, but they're close enough that you could go with Shaga Oud. If anyone tells you that they're nothing alike, then they're gaslighting you, because they are something alike. You have to at least admit that. But it is beautiful. Now, I do like that scent profile. It's just something that I would not wear very often. It's such a strong note profile. Is Oud Bouquet gorgeous? It is. It is very beautiful. I really, really do love and adore it in a way, but in another way, I probably wouldn't wear it that much, if that makes sense. You know, do you have any like that? So definitely, they're so similar. They're so similar. I'm just saying. So another Tom Ford, the Vanille Fatale. I've heard a lot about this too. So I'll tell you, when I sprayed this, I was getting a very citrusy, soapy clean vanilla. And I thought, am I going crazy? I thought this was supposed to be just like vanilla, basically vanilla. I didn't realize how complex it was until I looked and I saw like probably 20 notes. So when I looked it up, I saw that it does have lime, it does have orange, there is that citrus there. So I wasn't crazy when I smelled the citrusy smell. It's a very complex vanilla. In fact, I'm actually surprised that the word vanilla is in the name of this perfume, because I don't know, I feel like I would name it something else. And it has that bit of resinous feeling too, a little bit like there's myrrhe or elemi or frankincense or something in it as well. I'm not going to give you a full review on it or anything. That's just my first quick thoughts on Vanille Fatale by Tom Ford. So when I placed my order with Parfum Exquis and I got these discovery sets, they gave me 3 free samples. And one of them was Celeste by Giardini di Toscana. And I never probably would have ordered this because I knew I probably wasn't going to like it, just judging by the reviews. And when I sprayed this, which was a couple weeks ago before we went on vacation, I sprayed this. And I wrote the most scathing review of almost any perfume that I've ever written. I was really harsh. I was typing almost angrily, like someone had hurt me or offended me. Like it was that offensive to me. At every stage, opening, mid, dry down, all of it. I couldn't stand it. Now, today I sprayed it, even though I didn't want to. And I have to say that the opening wasn't as bad as I remembered. The dry down is as bad or worse as I remembered. Now, if you love Celeste, I'm gonna get you to skip ahead. When I sprayed it the first time, my husband exclaimed, "Cucumber!" I didn't get cucumber out of it, but he shouted out, "Cucumber! What's going on?" Okay, I have a memory, and I might as well tell you this memory now, because this particular memory has kind of like imprinted on my mind, and it's a smell that comes up quite often in perfumery. And just a got a whistle. I was going around selling tickets door to door like you have to do for school sometimes when you're a kid. I went up the street, I went into this house, and there was the most sickeningly sweet stench that I've ever smelled in my life. And I was trying to hold my breath. I was trying to act normal. My eyes were watering. I was probably 11 years old. I was trying to sell tickets. I came out of that house and I got into the car with Mom and Dad, and I'm like, "You guys, there was this smell in there. It was like a sicky, gaggy, sweet smell." And Dad said, "Well, they probably had a flue fire in the house, and that sometimes leaves that." And, you know, also if a house has mold, it can also get that sicky sweet. I don't mean sickeningly sweet. I mean sicky sweet, like a gross, gaggy sweetness, like a yucky. So my scathing review that I wrote about Celeste, I'm so sorry if you like it. Remember, we're all different. All of our noses are different. Please don't be mad at me. It's kind of like the flue fire, moldy, sicky sweet stench in a mold infested house. I'm reading these from my notes. Candied violet, rotten melon. Like a very rotten melon that's been in the garbage rotting for weeks. Like cantaloupe. And when my mom and dad used to make homemade salad dressing. It was like mayonnaise, but there was eggs and sugar and they would cook it. The whole house would fill with the same sickening sweet smell. Maybe that's what they were doing in the house when I went selling the tickets, making homemade salad dressing. And if you don't know what I mean by that, have you ever smelled the pink soap that they have at gas stations and it's that sickeningly, it smells like that pink gas station soap. Almost like almond extract went rotten, sort of that. Anyway, so Celeste is not for me. It might be for you, and you might not get any of that same sort of vibe from it. You might get a beautiful smell to your nose, but to mine, it was a big no. I have a couple by BDK Parfums. I have Vanille Leather. Now this one, it's really good. It's really pretty. Definitely get the vanilla, but definitely get an earthiness, like a leatheriness, but also that benzoin. And it's not done in a way that I find too cloying. A lot of times benzoin can come off very cloying. And I'm getting the orris and the violet, but violet sometimes is really going bad for me these days. So it's just a little bit off of what I wish it would be, but it is pretty. I feel like this actually would be quite a likable scent. The opening is a little bit weird, but all in all, when this dries down on your skin, definitely vanilla, definitely leather. Picture that, and you got this. The other one I got from BDK Parfums was Crème de Coeur, and this was my official least favorite from the batch. When I sprayed this today, and when I had worn it a few weeks ago, I got a lot of plastic, like melted plastic, very chemical. Now, when I wore it on my skin, the whole time that it was on my skin, I smelled that plastic, vinyl. So I think coeur means leather in French, and what I got more was vinyl, you know, not leather. Like you were left in the back of your mom and dad's car in the heat in the vinyl seats, and just that. Now there is something good about it. I'm getting now more from the paper, more of a citrusy, plasticky smell, which isn't terrible. But it was one of my least favorites from the batch, for sure. Now here's one that I just kind of randomly threw in my sample order. It's by Bvlgari. It's called Spettacolore. It's kind of like the word spectacular, but it's spelled Spettacolore. Spettacolore. It's spectacular. I was really interested in it, and the reviews were super good on this one. It's really nice. The note profile is very simple. There's 3 notes. I think it's iris, myrrhe, and amber. Let me look that up. Oh, it is. Yeah, iris, myrrhe, and amber. It opens very pretty, kind of fresh, but with a slight spiciness, like a warm spiciness to it. And it feels very cozy, and it's quite alluring. The amber in here is really nice and not overdone. And the iris is not too powdery. And the myrrhe is not too resinous. It's very rich. And this is really nice. But I don't like the bottle, to be honest. The bottle is, come on. I'm sorry. Come on. But this is super nice. This could be probably called underrated. Like, I feel like people go crazy over this. If you like ambery, spicy, vanillic scents with some iris, I feel like people would go wild over this. So you might want to check out Bvlgari Spettacolore. I'm going to talk about Valentino, Donna Born, and Roma. Rendezvous Pink is what my bottle says. Now, I've seen it called Pink Persephone or Pink PP or something like that. When I first sprayed it, I thought, oh, it's pretty, it's sweet. I get the Donna Born and Roma DNA for sure. I was getting a lot of the orange blossom. So it was kind of a classic orange blossom and vanilla scent. And I was thinking, man, this is really quite pretty. I'm pretty sure it is discontinued. I don't know how it would be discontinued already because it's very new. You can still probably get it in a few places. But I do get that citrus feeling. I get that orange blossom feeling, and I still get the vanilla. I was getting hints of Burberry Goddess with this one. Like, the vanilla was quite strong in this. And I remember when it dried down on my skin, when I wore it a few weeks ago, it was reminding me a lot of Dior Addict. Only a little bit lighter and fresher. So I guess it probably technically would remind me of Guerlain Angelique Noir. because to me, those two, Angelique Noir and Dior Addict, are sisters. Not twins, but not cousins. Sisters. Angelique Noir is a lighter, fresher, airier, pretty, more delicate version of Dior Addict. To me, they're quite similar. And I'm definitely getting that vibe from the Donna Born and Roma Rendezvous Pink, I'll call it. Last, but certainly not least, this is a cheapie, and it's so my style. This is by Monde Gourmand that you can get at Urban Outfitters, and this is called 000. It's just a musk, you guys. It's just a pretty kind of, oh my God. I love this. This is so my vibe. It definitely has a citrusy opening, but it is a floral musk. Sandalwood comes out a bit more on your skin. Oh, it's so pretty. If you know the type of scents that I like Bvlgari Omnia Crystalline and Gucci Bamboo and Carolina Herrera 212 and all those like white floral, clean, fresh, a little bit citrusy skin musks. Oh my word, you guys. To me, this is so pretty. Now, I can see how a lot of people wouldn't like it. If that's not their style of perfume, you probably hate it. To be honest, everyone's different. That was my top pick from the entire bunch, and thankfully, it costs probably $15. So I hope you enjoyed sniffing perfume samples with me. What do you think of some of these? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. It's soon going to be my 1-year anniversary, and I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers by my 1-year anniversary. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys watching me, joining me, and having this fun sample sniff with me today. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.